Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Today we have a new episode and 3 new great stories. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications for new stories every single day. You're in the wrong country if you think people are going to do that for you. So I browse this sub regularly and have a little chuckle to myself thinking about how people can be so dense and not realizing that customers aren't staff. But I've never had anyone think that about me until yesterday. Apologies if the formatting is off since I'm on mobile. Here's your important background on me. I'm a British national who's been working in another country for a couple years. I haven't been home at all during this time, so this year I saved up all my holiday, okayed it with my bosses, and decided to use it all on coming home from now until the new year. My flight touched down mid-afternoon yesterday at Big International Airport. I'd opted to hire a car to use since I'm planning a couple of day trips to visit friends who now live across the country. It just so happened that the company I was going with had an empty-to-empty fuel policy. There was just enough fuel in the car to get you to the nearest petrol station, and you didn't have to bring it back with any specific amount of fuel in the tank. This all begins at the petrol station about 5 minutes down the road from the car hire place. I feel like this isn't a surprise to anyone reading, apart from the antagonist of the story. She'll appear in a minute. But in the UK, on the whole, we fill up our own petrol tanks. People paid to pump your petrol for you is not a thing. If you go to really rural areas with no other petrol stations around for miles, you might get a hand from one of the staff members there, but that's it. It's the same in my country of work also. You mostly pay over the counter in the shop connected to the station, but for some of the chain petrol stations, you can pay at the pump itself via a pen machine. Sorry if this is like teaching your grandmother to suck eggs and you already know this. It just so happens that this petrol station in question had a pay at the pump option. The queue for paying behind the counter was massive, so I decided when I pulled in to pay at the pump. There was a bit of a wait to get a free pump, and while waiting, I noticed out of my window that a car just turning into the petrol station was a hire car by the same rental company as mine. At the time, it was just something to spot. I didn't realize that I'd be front and center of their crosshairs. I eventually pull into a space, get out of the car, and start filling up. I finish, reach into my pockets to get my card to pay when I feel a tap on my shoulder. I look across, and there's I would guess a mid-30s woman just standing there looking angry. I should note that I myself am a woman in my late 20s. I was wearing jogging pants and a university hoodie that I'd traveled in, so definitely in no discernible uniform at all. I'll be calling her Shouty American, SA for short. SA, finally, someone appears. Can you tell these other cars to move so we can get into this space next? Me, tired because flying is draining, and I'm confused. No, they were here before you. SA, but they're not with car hire company. You are because your car says so. Get them to move and then get to pumping our gas. Me, I'm not employed by anyone. I just hired the car. Also, no one's gonna put any petrol in your car other than yourself. At this point, I turn away so I could pay, and she did not like that. SA, pulling my arm away from the screen. I don't want petrol. The fact that she was trying to make fun of my accent was just odd. I want gas. We were told to fill up here, and if you don't do it, I will drag you to that office and watch as you get fired. Obviously, because she's on the verge of shrieking at me and has created a scene, a member of the staff comes over and asks what's happening. I was about to politely explain that the woman just seemed to be a little confused over what she'd been told by the car hire company, but she gets in there first. SA, this employee of your partner firm car hire company is terrible. She's refusing to pump my gas. Staff member, SM, to me. Do you work for car hire company? Me. No, I just hired the car and needed to fill it up, and now I need to pay. SA, no, she works for them. Look at the stickers on her car. They're the same stickers on every hire car. SM, to her. Madam, I don't think this lady works for car hire company. I think we just need to let her move on so she can leave and we can keep everyone moving. We also don't have any contracts with car hire company to begin with. At this point, there were about 8 cars parked behind the car that she was in, since the driver hadn't thought to move into one of the now many free spaces next to the pumps, and many more indicating that they want to enter the petrol station. But SA seemed oblivious to this. SA. I want someone to fill up my car now. I don't care if you fill it up with petrol or not gas. She seemed to have no clue that petrol and gasoline are literally the same thing. You're lucky that I don't film this and stick it on Facebook, so you all get shamed and fired. SM. Getting annoyed as there were people shouting and car horns blaring because of the blockage. SM. Getting annoyed as there were people shouting and car horns blaring because of the blockage. You're in the wrong country if you think people are going to do that for you. Please tell the driver of your car to move, or we'll have the car towed for an illegal obstruction. I'm pretty sure this isn't a thing, but I sensed the guy was just hedging his bets that Shouty had no clue what the law was. She eventually signaled for the driver to move into a space to the wonderful sound of British sarcastic cheers. It's good to be home. While the staff member apologized profusely for what had happened and offered me anything in the shop on the house. I went home with a tank full of petrol, a deluxe Christmas sandwich, and a good story to tell my family. That probably wasn't the welcome to the UK that Shouty expected, but it was the one she deserved. Okay, I gotta ask, what is a deluxe Christmas sandwich? And we move on to our next story. Best service I've gotten all day. After working in retail, there's nothing I hate more than rude customers. I can't stand people most of the time because of it. A little background for this story. I get my tires changed over in the spring at Costco every year. Because I bought my tires there, they give me a good discount. They just started allowing you to book appointments for tire changes online, so you don't have to show up and hope that they have time to change your tires. But by doing this, you really can't come in for a walk-in at all, since they typically are all booked up for the day. Now to our story. It's a little before 2 p.m. and there's a long line for the automotive department. My car's tires are all changed and I'm just waiting to pick up my keys. There's a middle-aged couple in front of me complaining about the wait. All the typical. What's taking so long? Why aren't there more people working? Why are they so bad at their jobs? It's not that hard. At one point, they even turned around to me to ask me if it usually takes this long. After listening to them for 10 minutes, it's finally their turn. And guess what? They didn't have an appointment. Shocker. They drove from really far away and they needed to be squeezed in. After the lady at the desk repeatedly told them, I'm sorry, we can't possibly squeeze you in. We're completely full. The couple yell a few choice words at the woman about how this is terrible customer service, yada yada, before moving along. I grab my keys from the girl, apologize that she had to deal with all of that, and walk out to my car. As I go to unlock my car, I see the annoying couple unloading their cart into their trunk. The couple then decided to just prop their cart up on the grass instead of walking the literal 10 meters to the cart return. Like it took more effort to prop it up on the grass than it would to walk to the cart return. At this point, I'm so livid. First they curse out the poor desk girl, then they disrespect the cart people by not walking the short distance to the return. So I walk over to their cart, glare at them, and return their cart without saying a single word. The couple then proceeds to pull up next to me in their car, and the guy yells out, "Hey, thanks. That's the best service we've gotten all day from your crappy store. You guys really need to work on your customer service." I can't contain myself anymore. So I reply with, "I don't work here. You're just being a complete and utter butthole. You treated the girl inside like crap. Now you're treating the cart return guys like crap because you're too lazy to walk 10 meters. And you're so ignorant you didn't even notice I was the one standing behind you the whole time. You even complained to me. Maybe if you weren't such an entitled butt, you'd get better service." The look on his and his wife's face was worth every second of that. Of course, he proceeded to tell me to F off and that I was just some dumb little girl who didn't know what the F I was talking about. But I just flipped him off and got into my car. I can't yell at those buttholes at work, so it felt amazing to do it as another customer. I think anyone who's worked in retail or customer service can appreciate what you did. And our third story today, how $5 headphones became $40 Bluetooth. I work as a sampler at a large warehouse superstore. My uniform is a white polo and black pants with a blue apron. I say this because in no way do I look like I work at Target. My story begins after work. It was about 6 p.m. and I decided to stop by the Target near my job. As I was wandering, I was listening to music on some cheap $5 headphones. I was looking to see if there were any good movies for a weekend binge. This woman in her mid-30s, early 40s came up behind me and jammed her finger into my shoulder. I turned around and pulled out an earbud. Mean woman will be MW. I'll be me. Me. I'm sorry, I'll move on, I said as I stepped to the side, and then she grabbed my shirt. MW, where are you going? You need to help me. Me, I'm sorry, I don't work here. And then I put my earbud back in. So she grabbed the wire to my earbud and ripped it out of my ear. For context, these were $5 earbuds I got at Walmart. They were cheap and had small bits of plastic from the mold still on them, and when she pulled the plastic attached inside my ear, it hurt like hell. Don't give me that crap. Now stop being lazy and help me find me. I don't work here, you cranky old bee. Piss off. MW, how dare you? I will personally see that you're fired. Then she stormed off. I put my earbud back in, and surprise, she tore the wire inside so I couldn't hear anything from it. As I continued looking for movies, I hear MW. There he is. That's the man who won't help me and called me a B-word. Manager will be M. M. Ma'am, he's not an employee here, but I can help you. MW. What do you mean? He's wearing a white polo. Of course he works here. Ma'am, all Target employees wear red polos. MW. Well, I'm never coming here again if this is how I'm going to be treated. Seeing a chance to be petty, I chimed in. Excuse me, miss. I think you need to buy me new headphones since you broke mine. MW. I will not, you little crap. Me. If not, I can always press assault charges. There are cameras that caught the whole thing. Manager. If he does press charges, we will go over the footage. At this point, without another word, she grabbed a pair of $40 headphones, bought them, and threw me at me before storming out. MW. Well, I'm never coming here again if this is how I'm going to be treated. If only rude customers like MW actually made good on their threats instead of returning to the store they've just threatened never to step foot in again 2 days later. Why do they always think such threats are going to work when employees would actually be more than happy to see the last of them? Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.